This is the Brick and Banter Podcast. I'm Ethan Burke, real estate agent with Irongate Realtors. Today I have
Carly Peters with KP Fitness.
KP Fitness?
Yep.
I assume that's your name.
Know your power, actually.
Oh, I was wrong completely.
Yeah. Well, kind of. It's half and half.
Okay.
Yeah. An old friend, I used to train her online only when I started. She kind of suggested it because I used to be Kiss Fitness, but somebody already had it.
Okay.
So she's like, why don't you do KP? It's your name and it's Know Your Power, and that's kind of what you do. And I was like, all right, you might be onto something.
I like it.
It's been a journey. It's been really cool, but that's kind of what we can get into here in a bit. But it's something. It's my little baby, which I'm sure you know.
So yeah, how did it start? How did you find how did you go from an idea of getting it done to having your own spot?
So I taught high school math for 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so totally different. My parents are both educators, so I kind of went to college for math, got a minor in business and psychology, and then wasn't really sure what to do still when I graduated. You would have thought I would have just known to teach, but I didn't. I was working at Chipotle, actually, and I loved it. That was one of my favorite jobs. I don't know why. But it was just the culture, the food. You got free food when you were working and 50% off when you weren't.
Nice.
You can't beat that. And so I remember I was on vacation. I was literally laying on the beach with my family, and I got a phone call from Northmont, and they were like, hey, we got a teacher spot open if you want to teach high school math. And I was like, do I need to come in first? I'm on the beach. I can't make it in this week, and school starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like, well, we need somebody. So if you want it, it's yours. When you get back, come in. We'll get your paperwork done and get you through. And that's what I got into first. So I taught math for 3 years, but it was during COVID. So the first year, we went on spring break and we never came back. My poor kiddos. I didn't even get to see them graduate, all the things. And
That had been a weird time to be a teacher.
yeah. The teachers that had 30 years under their belt, they were in the same boat as me with none.
Yeah.
So we were kind of all on the same page. A little bit of trauma bonding, probably.
I believe it.
Yeah, it was an experience for sure. And thankfully, Northmont, it's a beautiful school district to work in. So it had really good support and a great union, and we did the best we could with what we had, But the second year we were online, and then the third year we were hybrid, and it just wasn't for me anymore. I love math. I love kids. I love teaching. But all together during COVID, I was like, ooh, this is something. So in that time, though, when COVID started, I started doing insanity workouts.
I tried doing those, yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming you've done P90X too.
I didn't because I didn't want to buy the weights and stuff. Insanity used less weights,
right.
so I was just hopping around my house.
Oh my gosh. Did you do it all the way through?
I didn't. I got to the point where it started making you do 2 lessons at once.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and couldn't walk and was like, all right.
Yeah. I tore my knee up real bad. That's when I first got injured. I was like, Shanti, no. Gosh, meeting him though would be a dream.
Those were good workouts. And I mean,
They were
pretty effective for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I remember waking up sore as hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could drain your shirt out after each one.
Yep.
It didn't matter which one it was. Yeah, that's kind of how I started. And during COVID, you either had all the time in the world to do nothing or to do everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people either got really healthy or really unhealthy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I grew up in a family that does prioritize health in their own ways. My dad farms, my mom runs. They've always kind of worked out in their own ways, and it just kind of was innate for us to go down that path.
Yeah.
But so thankfully I had that kind of background in it already. So I was inspired to get out and move. And I just kept moving. Well, injured my knee and was like, all right, we need to lift weights. And I had never bought a gym membership because they scared me. And it's weird now. Now I'm pretty jacked for a woman. I put on a lot of muscle. I feel like I'm much more confident now, and I'm a different person than I was back then. But I remember the same feeling of going straight to a cardio machine because that's all you know how to do, or being afraid of all the men in the gym, and just feeling like you're not supposed to be there. And so I never bought a gym membership for the longest time until I hurt my knee and was like, I don't know what else to do. I can't do insanity anymore. It's killing me. So I finally got a membership at LA, which is where I still go. I had been following Christian Guzman. Do you know him?
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
Like Alphalete. He's like he's a mecca kind of fitness guru that started a clothing line. He's done tons of bodybuilding shows, just like one of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
And he vlogs, and so he puts out a lot of content for people to digest his life. Yeah. And so I'd follow his life. And it inspired the hell out of me. I mean, I've never seen somebody work so hard, and he opened his own gym. He started with a real small space. It takes probably 10 grand to open a small gym, usually. And so he got it, and then just watching his story evolve, and now he runs Alpha Land. So imagine Disneyland, but it's for the gym people, and he runs that in Texas. I know.
Is it just massive, I assume?
Oh my, there's 3 gyms. I think he might be building a 4th. I don't know, I stopped keeping up as much. But I got to go last year, actually. So if you ever get a chance to go, it's worth it. It's in Sugar Land, Texas, so right outside Houston, I think. But oh my gosh. So he inspired the hell out of me. So I just kept going. I bought one of his online plans, went to the gym, started doing it. Didn't know what I was doing. Not a clue. Oh man, my lat pull downs would be like this. I look like the 80-year-old guys that are just,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Using every piece of equipment wrong. But I was seeing results, even if I was hurting myself in the process. And so I kind of got addicted to the feeling of it all and finally feeling strong. Like I'd always been an athlete, but I'd never been strong. I'd always been like pretty average, maybe slightly above average at everything, but never really great. And I started getting really good at this.
Yeah.
And I started applying myself a lot and asking people questions and getting spots. And I just kept going, fell in love with it. Eventually, I ended up doing a bodybuilding show. And one of my friends, she was like, hey, I've seen your progress. I know it's only been like a year or 2 of lifting, but you put on a lot of muscle. Like, you've got the work ethic and the competitive mindset. You should do a show. Oh, my. I didn't know what I was getting into. I really didn't. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be badass. Why not? Yeah. I can do it.
How hard can it be?
Yeah. 2022. How hard can it be? Oh, man, I was married at the time, too. What a wild time. Bless his soul for dealing with me. Oh, I don't know how he did it. I literally slept in a separate bedroom and got up at 4 a.m. every day, went and did an hour of cardio, went to teach high schoolers math online. Mind you, there's a kid logging on to this Google Meet, and he's on his tractor. That's the kind of stuff you're dealing with. And I was so immersed into this show. I was like, I want to do the best I can. So I put my whole soul into it. Every single break I had, I was watching videos of how to pose and how I could stimulate muscles better and how I could eat better and all these things. And she had me on a strict meal plan. And then after school, I'd go and lift for an hour, another hour of cardio, 20, 30 minutes of posing. You got to be in bed by 8:30. So I remember sprinting home every day and being like, I got to get in bed now. So I would pop melatonin, magnesium, meal prep if I had time. I'd get up and meal prep in the morning when I'm doing cardio. It was crazy. And then I'd go to bed, wake up, do my little stomach vacuum, massage, weigh myself, and then do it again for 11 straight weeks. And I slept in the separate bedroom because I didn't want to interrupt his sleep. And you got to be really disciplined when you're in a selfish sport, And it was very selfish. And it was a great learning experience, but it had its ups and downs for sure. In the first 6 to 8 weeks, you're feeling pretty good. Like your body's finally cleared. So you get rid of all the toxic stuff you've been putting in for 20-something years, you know. Then when it hits, you get the prep face. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, your cheekbones they're popping." And it was something. And then, you know, I got through the competition somehow and drank queso afterwards because queso's my love. No, so that was how I wanted to celebrate, you know. And, you know, went through that whole experience and then just still loved my journey, even if I had parts of that I didn't love.
Yeah. How'd you do in the tournament?
I mean, okay, so I got first in my class.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, but there's only 2, so first is first. But
Right.
I like to clarify because there is a difference. You know, if there was like 6 highly competitive people, I wouldn't have gotten first. But between me and her, I was first. So.
Was it close, or did you just completely blow her out of the water?
Yeah. I kind of blew her out, but you know, she did as best as she could. I just don't know if she was quite as conditioned. I don't know if she took it quite as serious, you know? Where meanwhile, like 11 straight weeks I was in.
Yeah. You weren't prepared for war.
Yeah, literally. I put little sticky notes all over my house that last week, and I was like, "You will win. If you're not first, you're last." And then I was like, "Okay, I love myself. You're doing great." You know, you gotta have like the rough edge and the soft edge, depending on the day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So it was a great learning experience, but I mean, it caused a lot of stress in relationships, including my marriage. You know, you gotta realize what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then know like how that's gonna affect other people around you too. And so if anybody listens that's doing a show or going to or thinking about it, like just be mindful of the things that will come with it innately. Like it is a very selfish sport, and whoever's around you has to know that and embrace that and be okay with that for a certain amount of time, you know, and then afterward help you recover.
Yeah.
And so that same year I did get divorced and kind of went down my own little path, you know. Just had to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
And figure out, you know, what's my purpose here. And which is funny, I've wanted to start a podcast for like 3 or 4 years now. And I want to call it The Pursuit of Purpose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like
So I was super excited. Thank you for having me on here.
sure. Afterward, if you want to know how any like the stuff works, I can show you.
That'd be
easy.
awesome. Yeah. That'd be so cool. I don't know if it's kind of a big undertaking, you know, and you just got to be disciplined with it. So if you don't have the energy to commit to it, you probably shouldn't do it yet.
100%.
So I kind of waited, and now I'm like, all right, maybe this is a sign, you know, get comfortable and dabble in it in other ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so this is super cool. Yeah, so after that, I had a lot of broken relationships with myself, with my friends, my family, my relationships with food, with cardio. And especially in that, like, you really do tie aesthetics to your entire identity almost.
Yeah.
You know? And so went down a lot of eating disorders, body dysmorphia, all the things, all the mental health things, you know? Finally, I got smart enough. I got a therapist. I was like, all right, you can't do it on your own anymore. Let's go. And bless her, because it was, therapists are hard to find a good match sometimes. So it's kind of like dating. You just got to keep going until you find one that fits your vibe and your personality. And thankfully, she fit very well. And so at the time, I had picked up like 6 random jobs just to make my ends meet, because I knew I didn't want to teach anymore.
Yeah.
I hadn't gotten divorced yet, but I knew that I could make my half of the bills be paid, you know. Yeah. So I quit teaching, nothing really lined up, but I was doing Chipotle. I did B-dubs for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, that's all it lasted, because I got through orientation. I was like, I don't even like this food. I don't know this food. I don't like this food. That means I can't sell this food. So I called her and was like, yep, this isn't going to work. I got a bunch of random things. And I was working over at the Rexplex in Washington Township. Have you been in there yet?
I don't think so.
It's actually, they remodeled it last year. It's actually pretty nice now. When I was working there, though, they hadn't remodeled, so it's super small. And they just had literally, I think, 10 machines. And they made a circuit out of it, and that's the workout that they put people through. So I came in, and they were like, can you help us restructure and, kind of get this going and get training going for people and make it a little bit better? And I was like, okay, with 10 machines, can I get some free weights or some, or a kettlebell or something? And it turned out to be a great, great building and learning experience, though, and I met some cool people along the way and kind of started dabbling in it. And so I had, through the show, I had gotten all my certifications because I've been teaching group fitness at the time, probably 10 years already. So I love teaching group classes. I taught boot camp, swim. I'm not a good swimmer, but they were like, well, you could teach it. You don't get in the water. You just stand out and make them do it. And I was like, okay. So I ran my boot camp and made them do it in the water. They kind of loved it, though. I was like, well, it works. And then I would teach biking, cycling, TRX, all the crazy classes you could think of I was teaching, but I had never trained. And it's funny because I didn't remember this until like a month ago maybe, but they had asked me at Wright State, that's where I went to school and started doing all the group fitness stuff. They had asked if I would want to train one day. And I was like, no, never. Oh, I hated the idea of it. And I don't know why. And maybe if I reflect more on it, I could figure it out. But it kind of intimidated me and scared me having that much like power and control over somebody's health.
Yeah.
Group fitness, like they're doing their own thing. If they want to take a break, if they want to die, it's on them. Like I can teach the best class ever, but they still pace themselves.
Yeah. But
in training, it's like, you ride or die with me. Like if I load the barbell on your back with 225 and you just go down, that's on me. So you got to be really on top of your game and very safe and educated if you're going to train like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever felt worthy or confident enough to do that because it wasn't my background. So I had imposter syndrome probably all the way up until about a year and a half ago. And maybe 2 years now. It depends probably 2 years. Because I had a math degree in business and psychology. I was like, I don't know how to train people. I never even took A&P in high school. I never had to take anatomy. Can you believe that? Have you had to take it?
I don't know if I had to take it or if I just decided to take it, but I think it was part of a workout class.
Oh, really? Wow. See, everybody I talk to, it's mandated. Like, they've all taken A&P, and I'm like, I don't know how I got out of that. Our science teacher, though, I don't know if it just wasn't offered or maybe I missed it somehow, but I didn't even know basic anatomy. So I'm like, there's no way I could do that. So, I picked up all those random jobs, and then I had all these licenses now and certifications, and I just didn't know what to do with any of it.
Yeah.
And I was at the gym one day, and a guy named Chase had come up to me, and I was working out with a friend, and they knew each other, I think from high school. And I guess he came up, and he was like, hey, not in a weird way, but I've been watching you. And I'm like, all right. In what way? And he's like, well, your form looks great. Like, and I've kind of seen you over the last year or whatever. And I've seen like your body change and like your confidence change. Like your journey has been cool to watch, like from the sideline, And he's like, do you happen to have your license by chance to train? And I was like, well, I just got it because it was in a bundle package, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And he was like, well, you should come try out training in person and see how it goes. So I was like, okay, what else am I going to do? I just quit beat-ups. And I didn't want to teach anymore, at least not with COVID still.
Yeah.
And so I went in, and it was him and a couple guys in a gym down the road from LA. And he went on vacation to Greece with his wife for their honeymoon. So he left me for 2 straight weeks, and he gave me his full roster. And he's been training at least a decade, you know, so he had a full roster, and they all, like almost every single one of them had some sort of limitation or surgery or cancer even, you know, all these different things that you have to consider and train around. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, this is one way to throw you in a fire. Yeah. So he was like, you'll be fine. It's fine. I made notes. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, he did. Oh, I love him. He literally did. He printed out a whole thing for me, and he wrote down every single client, their phone number, and notes about them, and anything that he would suggest not to do with them. So, like, don't be laying prone for this person or whatever the case was, you know. And I was like, okay, we can do this. And the other trainers were there, so it wasn't like I was alone, you know. It was never going to be unsafe for the client, and they were kind of watching me to see how I handled it.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened, because it kind of forces you into the position.
Yeah.
And you don't have time to think. You don't have time to be afraid either. You just got to go for it. And so I went for it, and it turned out to be really, really great. And I stuck with them for about a year. Just kept falling in love with it. So I trained males and females, because when you're starting out, you know, you got to just take whoever you can get.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep building your name, building your culture, building your niche, and like whatever you're trying to create is what you just got to keep slowly working on. And since I was working with them, I think it was hard for me in my head, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Even from a young age, me and my dad had said, we're going to open Carly's Cafe one day. We were going to sell donuts and lemonade. Now it would be protein donuts and protein lemonade if we do.
I don't know. That could be a good business. You got the donuts on one side and you have the fitness training on the other.
That's true.
You can coming back in that
balance.
cycle.
That'd be kind of funny. We would definitely have to. They make protein donuts. Have you had them yet?
I've had one. It was like a prepackaged one, and it was really gross.
Oh, did you put it in the microwave?
One. No.
Oh, put it in the microwave.
Is that
the secret? Yeah. Otherwise, they taste like cardboard. Yeah, about like Casano's pizza.
I like Casano's pizza.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Salt on the bottom.
Domino's?
Domino's is good too. They have really good stuffed crust.
What's your least favorite pizza?
Oh. Probably any kind of deep dish where they put like sauce on top of it. I don't like that because it makes the pepperonis not cook right.
Oh, I never thought about that. Did you have the pepperonis under the cheese too for any of them?
That I don't like either. It doesn't cook right.
Right.
It's got to be on top or they won't be crispy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I like them burnt.
Yes.
And I have one of those little, what are those called? Toaster oven things. And every time I just throw the pizza in, I'm like, 25 minutes, not 10. And it comes out, and you can probably knock it on the table. I'm like, oh, it's perfect.
I need some place that's going to like cook the pepperonis, then throw them on the pizza, then cook the pizza. That'd be perfect. And the pizza wouldn't be burnt, but the pepperonis would be crispy. That's
a great idea. So pizza, donuts, lemonade. We're going to have them all then. Yeah. And that's kind of how I just was like, you know, how do you separate the mentality of being an independent business when you're still working for, under, near others?
Yeah.
And it was hard because, like, I am KP Fitness, but I'm also 30 West Fit. Like,
yeah.
How do you discern the difference between them, you know? And especially if they're helping feed you clients.
Yeah.
It's kind of being filtered through them. And so it was, I would say it was a great way to get into it, though, because if you're just on your own in the wild, it's kind of hard to stay afloat.
I get that. I imagine getting off the ground would be difficult if you have your own spot and there's only one or two people showing up. Anyone else who's looking at that is going to like, oh, I want to go somewhere where there's more people.
Right.
But once it starts going, it's going to snowball.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a blessing. Absolutely. Every single bit of the story is God oriented. It really is. Even the transition out, like it was over a weekend. Like it was a whole God thing.
Was that a smooth transition where you're like, hey, I'm leaving you guys, I want to do my own thing?
You know, I don't know, smooth's the word I would use. No, there was some tension between me and one of the other trainers because we had dated. And, you know, what's the saying? You don't shit where you eat, you don't eat where you shit. One of the two. Yeah, that holds true. You probably shouldn't do that. So, yeah, if that doesn't work out, you know, you got to kind of reconsider other things.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of one of those moments where, like, you know, I went home, prayed, contemplated what to do, reached out to a couple of really good clients and friends that I knew, kind of knew a little bit more of the inside and could help if they could, or at least pray. And one of them put on Facebook, like, hey, my friend's looking for a space. Does anybody know of one? And so her name's Tasha. That's the massage therapist owner. So I sublease space from her now. So she had an employee at the time who was married to her cousin and saw the post and then sent it to Tasha and was like, hey, you've got some space. You want a girl to come in and train? And that was like, let's see, I think I went home on Friday. She posted it Saturday. Tasha texted me Sunday. I went in to visit her Monday. And as soon as I walked in her door, we both were like, oh, forever, you're mine. This is home.
That's a good symbiotic relationship, too, because people get hurt when they're training and they want a massage.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Or even if you don't get hurt, you're sore afterward.
Yeah, right. I know. It is kind of hard to like mesh them all when you have different business structures and everybody runs their stuff in different ways. Like it's hard to make packages that include everybody's stuff. Yeah. But having the referral system and having everybody in-house. And she has a physical therapist, too, that comes in.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So the goal, because we both have this vision of like a one-stop shop for wellness. And it's kind of what it's evolving to, you know. So, yeah, Monday, went in, signed a lease with her, and packed up all my shit and moved in. Nice. It was a blessing. It really was. And I cry. I cry every day. But she has been the only, like, leader, boss, mentor person that has been kind and good and efficient and caring, you know, and has a great team and does a really good job mentoring you if you're near her. And so I had been praying for a long time. That's why I always wanted to open my own business, because I hate working for other people. I really do. I can't stand when people are inefficient. I can't stand when things don't get done. I can't stand when they create a culture that's not positive and conducive to the clientele.
Yeah.
It just never made sense to me. And I had always worked with a lot of really bad leaders, you know. So having her, I was like, oh my gosh, is this real? Like, I just, every day I'd be like, where am I? And she just let me come in and take over the space. And it was beautiful, because I was supposed to, so I have a client named Allison, Alley Cat. She's amazing. If you ever get to meet her, she is so artistic. If you ever need a mural or anything or an event sign, she does all sorts of crafty things. And she was supposed to paint my wall at the old space that same day weekend thing.
Yeah.
And so I was so sad, because I was like, oh, we had such a vision, you know. And Tasha was like, she can still paint here. And I was like, really? You're gonna let me come in and just kind of make it my own space? Like that meant the world to me. You know, I never had my own space like that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And so I mean, we both have expectations and boundaries, and we communicate, and we have a lease, you know, all the things to make sure, like, legally we're good, and if anything arises, like, how are we going to deal with conflict? But all in all, like, we both love each other so much and just can kind of do our own thing, but still be together. So it is the perfect pairing, and I've been there 2.5, almost 3 years now.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's been a journey. So that's kind of how I got started into it and how I got to where I am. And then, you know, each year is just crazy to see who comes in, who comes out, and, like, you know, you attract what you put out. And so, like, watching my journey change and watching my fitness journey change too, and, like, unlearning all those poor relationships that I learned through the prep and like getting out of bodybuilding and like starting to be a functional athlete now has just been wild. I am such a better trainer, such a better person, like all in all, better for it all. And so I definitely appreciate each step because it made me who I am now, you know, and my faith has been, you know, the stronghold for it all. And it's been cool to see how, like, when I work too hard, when I get a little selfish, and that's not even the best word, but when you're in business, like, you have to grind, you know, and you do have to kind of prioritize money at times. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful and have a business. Like, you can't help people if you don't have the income to sustain it. Yeah. So it's just a weird concept of putting all these pieces together all the time, and people don't see the back end of it. Yeah. They're just like, oh, you only train like X amount of hours in person with these people? You must have so much free time. And I'm like, no, I think I missed more of my workouts than ever before because there's so many things on the other side of it that you don't see, or you're just constantly on. Yeah. You know, you're constantly thinking about how I can do better, how I can provide a better quality, or should I change the structure? Should I put more energy into this? Should I buy another piece of equipment? Like,
that's kind of a cool position to be in, though, when it's your baby and you can kind of take it in any direction you want. You don't have to double check with somebody else and get their input on it.
Right? Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's everything I've always ever prayed for. It really is. And it has its ups and downs, but it's so funny to watch. Like, I've noticed when I, like, go really hard, it falls to shit. I mean, it does so bad. I'll lose 10 people. Like, I'll be very depleted, energetically off. Like, it's not great. And you would think I'm working harder. Yeah. So it should be an influx, but it's not. It's when I sit down and pray. It's when I pray over my clients. It's when I, like, take those conversations outside of the gym session a little bit longer than maybe I wanted to or had time for. It's when I really, like, give back to the people that give to me. It might seem like more work at first or more energy, but it always tenfolds back. And so it's a very interesting balance because sometimes I'm like, oh, I've got to work hard, but I'm working too hard too selfishly right now. So if you can, like, flip that script and kind of, like, pray about it and figure out, like, what is your intention and where are you going with this and why are you doing this, then it all falls together when it should in God's timing. So it's been really cool because it has been, I mean, every single week even, like, just the timing of things, you know, there's no coincidence who comes in when they do and when they leave. And I've got a lot of clients that have been with me since the beginning, so they've been with me 3 or 4 years now. But I've also had some come in for a month, you know, and sometimes you have that, but it always serves its purpose, whether I needed them or they needed me. And, you know, that's kind of the journey I've been getting onto recently is health and wellness being so much more than the weights. Yeah. And really being like a mind, body, and soul kind of thing. And so I went through the prep, was bodybuilding for 3 or 4 years. I got pretty big, but I got pretty injured. And I just couldn't figure out what was going on. So I tore my subscap partially. So thankfully not full. Otherwise, maybe I would have had to have surgery. I was just like, damn it. I've had injuries. I've always been kind of like sore, hurt, something, but I've never had like a torn muscle. Yeah. And in my brain back then, especially when I was more ignorant and kind of like, I was like, oh God, we're going to die. I'm never going to lift again.
I mean, at that point, it's tied into your identity.
It was. Yeah. Absolutely it was. Yeah. Because that was the day I sat down and I cried and I prayed and was like, I think I need to stop. And I took the whole year off lifting, which is wild because that's all I knew. That was my identity, and that's what I built my business on. So then you talk about imposter syndrome. Now I'm like, I'm not even working out, and I'm putting these ladies through a workout? That's wild. that seems unfair. And it was really sad. I had to like live vicariously through them. I'm like, please lift 5 more pounds because I need this more than you. Oh my gosh. I got some strong ass women too. So they were really helping me through hard times. Oh my gosh. Alley Cat should be deadlifting. I had 285 and I'm just like, wow, thank you. Do another one.
That's impressive.
Yeah. They're strong in different ways, but every single one of them is very resilient, very beautiful, very powerful in their own way. And so when I had that tear though, and I took that whole year off, it was the worst pain in my whole life because I was getting harassed and stalked too at the time. And
when it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours. Oh my God. Thank God for God. Yeah. I was on a medication too, and probably 2 more months and I would have been dead. I probably would have committed suicide.
Damn.
Yeah. That was probably the worst year of my life. I don't know if the injury kind of coincided with the trauma or vice versa. I do think the body's very well connected and energetically prone to things. So the more I've gone down that journey, the more I've realized, like, when my shoulder goes out, sometimes it's because I'm around somebody I shouldn't be around. I know. That's why, we could talk for hours about that stuff. Get your crystals out. I love it. I love it so much. And I don't think that any one thing has your answer. You know, I think people go around looking for the answer to whatever they're asking themselves. They're never going to find it. It's the collective unit of everything and just looking inward and upward and recognizing that, like, the truth is already in you for whatever you need. But using all these different modalities and healing tools helped me find those truths. Yeah, so it was, my tire got slashed. It was a whole mess of shit where I was down. And I was crying and praying, and I just remember, I don't really know what to do anymore. Like, I've done everything on my own for so long, and look where it's gotten me. Like, I've gotten divorced. Now I'm getting harassed and stalked, not by the same person, but and like, now my body's hurt. I'm not going to the gym. I'm running a business, but I don't feel like I'm doing very well. And I wasn't going to church. Like, I didn't have my faith really strong at that point. I grew up Catholic, but you kind of dip in and out of it. I feel like a lot of Catholics fall away at some point. There's a lot of rules that are hard to understand until you get a little wiser and older. And so I was lost. I was really lost and really down. And Chelsea, God bless her. There was a time she showed up on my doorstep. I don't know if she told you that story, but she's a special soul for me. And for you. I love her. She's like my big sister. And just making sure I was safe, because I was sleeping. I was so sick. I lost 20 pounds in a week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was the leanest I'd ever been, considering I did a show, I was like, I could just do another show. I'm already ready. And I would have too had I not been so damn sick. But I was calling off work all the time or sleeping through it. Like, it was so bad. It was a really bad time. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I was having these stroke-like symptoms.
That's scary.
Yeah. Terrifying, especially when you don't know what's causing anything. Like, I even had
like one of the facial droops?
Bell's palsy. Yeah, twice. Like, half my face was just down and stuck. And I know, I was like, did I have a stroke? Because I had so much anxiety and I was having panic attacks, and I had never had mental health before. Never. I was the kind of rude ass person that made my ex-husband get off his medication because I'm like, I don't believe in that. I know. It was bad. I was very rude. And I was ignorant, Until you go through something yourself, you kind of don't know. what it's like, and you don't have that empathy and compassion, which I'm assuming part of why I had to go through some stuff, so I could love others better. But, oh man, yeah, panic attacks left and right. And I think that when your body's under a lot of stress, you have your parasympathetic and your sympathetic. And when they're dysregulated, if you're stuck in fight or flight or freeze for too long, you get a lot of crazy symptoms. And that's kind of what sparked that side of my healing, was being in that really low spot where, the only place I could look was up. And so I remember going to work one day and I got in the sauna and I just cried and cried. And then I told Tasha, I was like, hey, I think I need like a trauma release session. I don't know what it is. I just saw it on TikTok. And I deleted TikTok shortly after, but, it served its purpose. And she was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, do you know where I could go? And she's like, get on the table. I'm like, oh no, you can do it right now, right here. But wait, no, I'm not ready. She's like, get on the table. And I did. And that was the first day of kind of the healing process. And it was wild. And she's a Reiki master. So I don't even know if she did Reiki that day or if she just did a little bit of energy work. Have you ever done energy work?
No.
Oh, just you wait. You have to. It's amazing. It just lets you, or at least hopefully if you have a good provider, it just lets you tap into you and get back into your body and listen to what it's telling you. Because I'm assuming my body told me to run a long time ago, and I just kept overriding it. I'd be the one literally fake snorting the pre-workout, listening to really heavy metal, going really hard, lifting crazy weights, left and right, just being very aggressive in life and as a person. And I'm still me, I'm still happy, joyful, Carly, whatever, but a little more hard-edged on it. Yeah, so she released some shit. I don't know. My whole right arm went numb. And I was like, Tasha, I think I'm striking out again. And she's like, you got something that needs to just release. You just got to let it go. Because it felt like there was a fire in my stomach. And it was trying to come out, but it kept getting stuck. And so, the right side of your body is the masculine side, and the left is your feminine. And when you're like, oh, what you talking about? It's pretty cool though. So especially when you start tuning into what areas hurt and why. And so if you're stuck in fight or flight, freeze, and you're always being aggressive, I'd say I was much more in tune with my masculine in the time, and I had never really turned on the feminine, or at least not been around somebody that allowed me to. And so she's like, it's probably why your right arm went numb. I was like, thanks, okay. I don't know what any of this means. And that night, funny enough, I had scheduled a sound bath in Columbus. Have you been to a sound bath?
I've seen them on TikTok.
Oh, they're so powerful. So powerful. Because, think about it. Everything is vibrations, right? Everything's frequency. And language is just how you identify what that frequency means to you, so this noise, everybody's going to register the vibration from it in their own way, however their body processes it. So the bowls, each one of them, there's 7 of them, they have a different vibration that they put off that are supposed to kind of register with one of your chakras. I know, we're going to go down some rabbit holes. And it is so cool. So you just lay there and you absorb it and you just let your body do what it needs to do. You basically can take a nap. It's a nap time. Some people do fall asleep. Have you meditated?
Before, yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Have you gotten to that meditative state where it's past, you're not sleeping per se, but you're not awake?
No.
Ooh. You should practice meditating again. Because when you get to that space, it's almost, I guess, like lucid dreaming. Almost. I mean, you're not really controlling it, though. The goal is to let it kind of happen. But Oh, it was beautiful. But that night, long story short, is when I got saved. And essentially God, it was the first time I've ever heard from God and ever seen God. And like this big bright white orb came into my vision and was like, forget about her. Cause I was doing my homework. I was trying to focus on like little baby Carly and talk to her, and just tell her, I don't know, whatever she needed to hear and like help her heal. But God came in and was like, forget about her. I know. Focus on me. And I'm like, who are you? Get out of here. I got homework. I got to talk to baby Carl here. And he was just so patient and kind. He's just like, forget about her. Focus on me. And I'm like, all right. And then basically the epitome of the struggle was me like taking Jesus's hand and like kind of giving my life over to him and being like, you know what? I'm done doing this on my own. I'm putting my trust in you. Here we go. And it was a wicked experience, but literally every day since then has been different. And so that's kind of like what sparked the healing. So then once that happened, my faith has grown. I started focusing on injury prevention and how to heal my shoulder and how to apply faith and sound bowls and all these things, because when you're down, you're down bad, you're willing to try anything. I'm willing to try a lot of things to like get healthy and be like the best, most authentic version of me I can be. And I don't know if there's an end to it, I think it's for life. I think that's what we're all here for, is just keep evolving. And all of that added up over time, and then you just keep growing in your journeys. And so I just kept transforming the way I provided too, and that's kind of how I got to be very functional now.
I was going to ask that, like, how did it start? Like, did you start off trying to train people for competitions, and then eventually it turned into what it is now?
Most people that sign up for a trainer are general health and wellness. And if you are a competitor, then you find an actual competition coach, because that's their niche and what they're certified and qualified to do. And that's all they do. Yeah. And it would be probably too much work for me to like do 5 different kinds of athletes. It's easier just to do kind of focus on one or the other. I don't necessarily think I'd want to train like a power lifter, a bodybuilder, a CrossFitter, general, older, younger, kid, and this,
That would be kind of wild.
Yeah, it would be. And a runner, a marathoner, there's just so many different ways to be fit.
Yeah.
That I like dabbling in all of them, but I'm not an expert in any of them. So I kind of like what I do right now is helping women, kind of novice to intermediate lifting. So I started training them more so like bodybuilders, which is still probably the best way to train in general, because you're looking for hypertrophy for most people. But, when I started recognizing how important functional was too, especially watching like my grandparents' age, or, I have clients from 12 to 84. So you see the whole lifespan of a body. Yeah. And how it changes over time. And now that I've been in it for 4 years, I've gotten to see those bodies change in those 4 years too. And it's so cool to recognize the value of longevity now. And like, why do we work out? Why are we lifting these weights? And why are we doing a little bit of functional stuff now? Like, you're going to have to just know that you're going to fall in life, metaphorically and figuratively. But the idea is that you are able to get back up. And I think so many people are afraid of falling, and especially risk taking too. And even like, you'd be surprised. Some people are afraid of just going downstairs or just stepping up on curbs. And I didn't realize how common some of those things were until I started training a lot more people. And so it's been really cool to help women build their confidence in little things like that have changed their life. And like, they can get up and down off the floor with their grandkids now. So that, to me, that's more important than looking good in a gym selfie. If you can't play with your grandkids, I don't really understand the purpose of it. So yeah. I love doing functional things, balance work, offset anything, kind of like loading one side of the bar and not the other. Or have you ever done offset work?
No.
Yeah, well, it's so good for stabilization and your core and just like that proprioception of knowing where you're at and kind of getting that mind-body connection. So like if you're doing really anything, but let's say you're doing a shoulder press with dumbbells, put like a 40 pound in one hand and a 20 in the other, but press them at the same time in the same tension. And it's pretty wicked. You could offset deadlifts, you could offset farmer's carry. It's very good, especially for anybody that has like scoliosis, or kind of any sort of like limiting back or hip area. It's good to help neutralize the spine and kind of get those muscle fibers to counteract each other.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, yeah. Or and attaching bands to anything, like on a hammer strength chest press. You know, you could always put a band around that bar, and then even instead of weights, like instead of putting a plate on there, just put a band on there and press that, because then you've got that constant tension the whole time. Oh, it's phenomenal. I love my ADHD serves very well in this field, because I'm like, oh, today you're feeling like this, you've got this injury and this. Okay, we're gonna do this, and this. And you gotta just be creative with it and have fun with it, and then they have fun with it, and they're seeing the value of it. So it's been really, really neat. That's kind of what I do now and what I stand for now. And you know, over that time, I actually got Best of Dayton last year.
Nice.
It was, I don't think I've ever like read or seen something and then immediately fallen on my knees and cried and prayed. I was just like, oh, what a crazy, wild story and blessing it is to like have come this far and like know that my clients are my family, you know? It's a beautiful thing, because not a lot of gyms get to say that, you know?
Yeah. How many clients do you have?
Oh, well, before I left for a month, I took January off, totally. I've never done that. But I traveled, so I went to Costa Rica and Mexico, and I really wanted to restructure my business. It felt like that kind of pivotal time, you know?
Yeah.
And so before I left, I had about 70, including boot camp girls. Yeah, which is quite a lot for one person. But, you know, it kind of ebbs and flows with you. Like when I have energy, when I can do that, business will go up with where I'm at. And then when I don't, it'll kind of crash back down a little bit. Like people will drop that you didn't expect to drop, and you're like, oh, I'm really sad. I'm not going to take it personally, because, you know, life happens. But also, I was praying for more sleep, or I was praying for a break or something, or like, I don't feel rested right now. So it kind of dips off, and then it comes back up. And then it fluctuates with the years. So usually January is pretty low anyway, because everybody buys like Planet Fitness. And then they realize they can't do it.
Yeah.
Or they want somebody to help them because they're getting hurt, or they don't know how to work some of the things. So then trainers get hit February, March.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
think about that kind of natural progression. I always see them in there walking on the treadmills in January, and then they're gone in February. And I get it. Some of them go to see the trainers. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you would think in summer, too, you'd get slammed, but it's backwards, which kind of makes sense, because everybody wants to be outside in the summer, and they have kids and vacations and summer camps. So you kind of slow back down in the summer, and then when fall hits and everybody's on that routine again and the structure and the school schedules, then it picks back up a lot too. So it kind of goes in and out with the year, and it's been really, really cool. And I was able to hire Lisa last year.
Cool.
Yeah, so she's been on almost a year now. Yeah, so she still works full time too, but she runs like 5 to 7 a.m. every day.
That's early.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I need someone else. I can't.
I've never been a workout in the morning person.
Really?
I want to show up when the gym is like 7, 8 p.m., like when no one's there anymore. Like, cool. I'll go in there, work out, go home, fall asleep.
Oh, yeah. I get too amped up. Do you not get like the rush after you work out?
Nope. I work out till I'm exhausted and then go home and pass out.
Maybe I'm not going hard enough. You go so hard, you just crash as soon as you get home. I get like high. Like I'll ride my high for hours after a workout.
I wish I did that. That'd be a good way to start the morning.
Yeah. I know. Well, I've been so damn afraid to do morning workouts again because of prep until my boyfriend now, his name's Morgan, and he's training for an Ironman. Well, you met him, the one that teaches hot yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is going to do a half Ironman in July, and he's already had his structure and routine and the discipline and all the things, you know. So he was working out from 5 to 6 a.m. every day. He's like, "You want to join me?" And I was like, "No."
No.
No, but I knew something in me was like, "You need to." He got me 3 straight weeks now. I've been getting up at 4:23 and working out at 5 a.m. with him.
Do you pass out at like 8 p.m.?
Yeah. Yeah, 8 to 9.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah. Well, last night I got caught up reading my book, so it was like 10:30. I got up this morning and I was like, "Don't let me read." He's like, I can't control that. But it's something. Yeah, 5 to 6 a.m. is not for the weak. That's why I had Lisa do it. I'm like, God bless you. She loves it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Some people are crazy. Like, they can have that.
I know.
That's the time of the day. You do that.
Yeah. I'm like, you go for it. Maybe when I'm older, but not right now.
What's your typical class size?
So I primarily only do semi-privates. So I don't get any more than 5 in a slot. Usually it's 2 or 3. So every 30 minutes I run sessions. And Lisa does privates, so she'll do one-on-ones or she'll do semis. But every 30 minutes I run sessions. And Monday, Wednesday night, though, 6:15 to 7 p.m., I have classes. Excuse me. And those range anywhere between 5 and 12 people.
That's a good size. No one gets like lost in the bag.
Exactly. Yeah. And my space is only so big, you know, so I think it's about 1,300 square foot. Yeah. And it's perfect. It is. But like if I have a class, I'm going to cap it at 15, you know. So it's been cool though. Monday night is Master Your Body, and it's body weight boot camp. And you basically what I'm trying to do is help people that are also hypermobile, which is why I've had so many injuries. And one of my rabbit hole journeys I've been going down, you know. And interestingly enough, a lot of people that get trainers are hypermobile because they've had so many struggles along their journey because it's much harder for us to lift and to have the same like stimuli, I guess, when we do it. And especially without getting hurt. And so it was weird because once I realized and then I started learning about that and talking to my PT and stuff, all my clients are. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And I was like, this is an interesting correlation. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, this makes sense. But those classes, so Master Your Body and then Master Your Brain is on Wednesday night. So if you want to come with Chelsea on Wednesday night, I'm bringing my sound bowls, my singing bowls. You can get your sound bath in. It's basically a meditation. When I went to Costa Rica, I really prayed about, like, I want to get into the healing energy world, but I don't know what that looks like yet. And I know that I have abilities and gifts to help people. And I know I already am, but I want to keep harnessing those and learning how to keep better helping people. You know, and, you know, if these things have helped me, like, let me share that and see if it helps you. And the right people that need it will come around when they do. And if not, then it ain't for them. So it's pretty cool. That's a meditative class. So you basically take your little nap. I tell them, like, camp out, bring your eye mask, bring your blankie. They did too. It was so funny. I love them. There was, I think, 7 or 8 of them last week. And it's powerful. It is. It just depends how open you are to receiving and like what phase of your journey you're in at the time, you know. So those are the 2 classes I have, and then Lisa does boot camp Tuesday, Thursday morning, 5:30 to 6 a.m. And then on Thursday she also does 6 to 6:30 a.m. Those are more of the boot camp style. You're thinking like she might do burpees. You know, she's probably using weights and bands and all the things and having circuit-based intervals. That's like a more traditional boot camp that she's running. And then every month I do a free Friday class now, 6:15 to 7 a.m. And so that is a surprise class format. So I told them, like,
They don't know what they're doing.
they have no idea. They're showing up and
Thanks for showing up, guys. Put on the boxing gloves and headgear. We're heading over here.
yeah, maybe. I got a boxing bag. We might we might do sled push and pull the whole time. I told them, I said, we might run when it's nice out. We might just run outside the whole time. And they're like, I'm not coming to that one. I'm like, you're not going to know which one. So that'll be a fun one. But, it might be yoga the whole time. It might be a meditation again. I don't know. We'll see. It might be a nutrition workshop.
They don't know whether to bring their pillow and blanket or their mouth guard because you're going to get punched in the head.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Maybe everything.
Pack
Combat
the whole
yoga.
bag.
Combat yoga. I like it.
Combat yoga. I like it. I'm going to do it. Combat yoga.
Here we go.
So when this happens, it was you. It was your idea. We're going to say
my fault.
Ethan did it. I'm sorry, guys.
Are you adding any new classes?
Not right now. Not unless I get someone else in there that wants to add a class, maybe Tuesday, Thursday night. Which Teresa might eventually. She came in and subbed for me when I was out in January, and she is amazing. But she also already has jobs, and it's just kind of hard to find anybody that wants to train full time.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment, especially if you're in a different career. It's a big career switch. Usually trainers are part time, and so that means they already have a job that they have to work around. So I'm like, all right, well. That's all right. All in God's timing, man. Doesn't bother me. I made it this far, Like, it'll just keep providing and flowing the way it needs to. So no new classes from what's already up now. But I did just book my retreat again, which I'm super pumped about. So last year I held my first health and wellness retreat at Hocking Hills in September. And so the cabin and the whole experience was amazing. So I went ahead and booked it again for this year. So that'll be in September. And then I just got on a phone call with, have you heard of Beauty Boost?
No.
Okay. So basically they're kind of like, we're very similar, but they're an organization. I don't want to say sorority because I feel like that sounds bad, but think about how sororities kind of work with their chapters and stuff and like the girl power and everything, and they have them on all these campuses. They kind of do that with Beauty Boost in each big city. So it's like it's a big women empowerment organization that I believe you pay like kind of membership fees to, and then you get like X, Y, and Z events and perks and stuff to it. So they do these wellness events and retreats and stuff at least once a month. And so they're having their big fitness sampler May 9th. And I think it's downtown. I can't remember what the place is called. She just told me. But it is going to be crazy. I mean, they have like 300 to 500 people come out to it. And
That's cool.
yeah, so they're doing like back-to-back sessions of different fitness formats. So, like, they'll have Pilates for 20 minutes, and then they'll have boot camp, and then they'll have yoga, then they'll have Spanga. Like, it's just so people can come and try all these different ways of working out. And they're kind of marketing and networking each other, too. So, it's pretty cool. So, I just signed up for that, so I'll be able to teach a time slot on that day to everybody.
That'd be cool. That's the time to break out combat yoga.
Yes. I'm going to bring the bowls, too. I'll bring all the padding, the bowls, and the eye mask.
I like it.
That would be so funny. They would not know what to do. They'd be like, Carly, we brought you on for boot camp. And now you're doing combat yoga with bowls?
That's a good niche.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that would be awesome. I could, I'd open a second location just to offer that. That'd be great.
Hey, we've been talking for about an hour. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, the best way to get in contact with me is to go to my website, so knowyourpowerfitnesstraining.com, or you can get on Instagram at knowyourpowerfitness or Facebook, Know Your Power Fitness. And then people can get into time slots that way if they'd like, or they can sign up for group fitness classes that way and just kind of stay up to date on some of these events and see if anyone's interested in those.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You have like an ideal client you go for?
I primarily cater towards women, but I do still train a couple males. Like I love them and it's great. I just felt very called to help more women more often. And so they kind of naturally filtered out. But the males I have, I was like, do you mind that you're the pimp? And they're like, yeah, we got it. So it's a very safe place for women to train. And they know, the women know, so really anybody that wants training. But I really love and try to focus on people that want to build the autonomy and learning their body and learning how to lift properly. So I don't know if beginner is the right word, but I would say more so in that phase of their life where they just need more accountability and routine and somebody to kind of help them with their form. Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good group. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who need help with their form.
Right. Yeah.
Like a small adjustment could, like you say, rip your arm out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, just turn your pinky in a hair. And they're like, oh, I've got no pain. It's just different when someone else is watching you.
Yeah, for sure.
So anybody in that category would be ideal, but really anybody, health and wellness is for everybody. And I feel like I meet you where you're at.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
I appreciate being on here a lot. And it was lovely meeting you the other day and then now being able to get in here and yeah. And thank you for moving it. I had that concussion and was like, I couldn't read my iPad. I've never not been able to read. And I couldn't read. And everything was fuzzy. And I'm like, what is going on?
Did you hit a tree or something? What happened?
No, I just... Me and snowboard, we're not friends still. When you're hypermobile, it's hard to keep your shit together. And so every time I fell, like, if I can't stabilize, you're kind of giving yourself whiplash every time. And there was one specific fall where I went backwards and my head just hit so hard. I immediately cried. And usually I don't do that. I mean, I'll cry on my own, but not from an injury, And I hit and just bawled and was like, yep, I think I'm done. So then I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to have the right words and, like, be able to see the lights. So thank you for moving it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.